It's October 27th. I've got about 2 weeks scheduled off work so I can kind of get out here and hit the archery woods for myself. I've spent so much emphasis the last couple weeks and months helping Chase to try for his first deer, and now that we were successful and did that on Saturday, took some time, you know, butchering that deer, wrapping some things up there, getting all my things together, and now it's kind of the official kickoff for me to start hunting for myself. We're gonna take our time today and take a look at a few things, and hopefully, if all goes well, we'll be in a tree in the next couple days. Got the first spot wrapped up. Did about a 2.5 mile loop. Checked out a couple spots that I've known of in the past and wanted to hunt, just never have. And honestly, this year might be the year. There's acorns in there, there's fresh sign. Found a couple really great stand trees, so that's definitely a place I'm gonna have to put some time in. This is it. It's my first day of my rut hunting vacation. It's October 29th. I've got about 2 weeks off, and I plan on pretty much hunting every day that the weather allows. I'm hunting a spot today that I scouted a couple days ago. I found it probably 3 or 4 years ago, but I haven't ever hunted it. But I liked what I was seeing, and I figured this would be a good year to try. I think this spot, if I give it some time, it should produce something, at least some encounters with some decent bucks here. So. That just happened pretty much how I wanted to draw it up. Saw some movement up in the sunlight out in front of me. He worked down through that little buffer strip, hit up a scrape about 50-60 yards from me, and then worked his way right down to me. He kind of crossed behind me at like 10 yards, so it would have been pretty difficult to get a shot off at him even if I wanted to. But still, he worked that one line, worked down through the other line, just like I was thinking they might do. So it's not every time that you guess that right, but at least for that buck, he read the script and did just that. It's just about 4 o'clock now. Been hanging in here all day. Haven't seen anything since those first 2 bucks this morning. So that first 8 point went through around 9:30, and then at like 10:30 we had a spike kind of work, kind of from the north, and then back out the way that the 8 point came. So other than that, it's been pretty slow, but we got a couple more hours left here, so we're gonna just hang in here and see what happens until it gets dark. Well, I made it back to the truck, but it got a little bit more interesting there right at last light. Heard a doe walk in behind me. She went and visited that scrape that was like 40 yards away, and I got all ready thinking there'd be a buck behind her, but she just kind of slowly strolled off up toward the north. So Nothing behind her, and that was it. Got packed up, walked out in the dark, and that's kind of a wrap for day one. Just pulled into my spot here. It's November 1st. This is my favorite day of the year. Kind of, to me, it officially kicks off the rut. I know late October is usually pretty good too, but for me, for whatever reason, November 1st has really been the first day to get things rolling. We're gonna finish getting all our stuff together and make the hike out. I'm planning to sit the same tree as I did on Wednesday. Still not convinced that's the correct tree to be in yet in that spot, but I liked enough of what I saw that I want to at least give that tree one more chance. And then if we see anything, any consistent movement through there, maybe we can make a move at some point.
It's almost 8:30. Just after I got set up, a little after 7 o'clock, it started raining and it hasn't really let up yet. Well, the good news is the rain stopped. It's 11 o'clock now. Probably stopped around 10:20, 10:30. I'm hopeful that now that this rain has stopped and it's kind of getting nicer out, we could get some midday movement. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. That's why I like sitting all day. Sat through the rain this morning, didn't see anything, and then finally that spike came through at about 11:45, and then that weird, like 2.5-year-old 5-point just came through. It's 12:30 now. It's a really good sign that they're moving through here. Both of those did pretty much exactly what I wanted them to do. Gave me a little bit of heads up the hill. Work right by and cross right in front of that shooting lane right there at about 31 yards. I think it was just the same 8-point that I saw working that scrape. He came down through the buffer strip just like the other 2 bucks did, but instead of walking by me, he kind of looped up to the north, and about 20-30 minutes later, I see a deer pop out over here behind me, and I'm watching him, and he disappears. But then all of a sudden, he's right behind me at like 15 yards. Kind of walked up to my left, and right on up the path. So he looked a little bigger further away than he did up close. Either way, not something that I'm looking to shoot at this point in time. It's funny how they look pretty good walking away though. Saw some movement up the hill a little bit, and it was a bear. And I got the camera wheeled around on it, and I was filming it, kind of trotting through the woods, and it stopped and climbed a log. And I went back to review the footage and never pressed record. I first saw him up there, and I thought he was going to walk right in, but instead he kind of trotted through a little bit of the open woods right there, and when he reached this part, he slowed down, but I could only see him in flashes in between the hemlocks. And then he got to this wide open spot, and he jumped up on a log, walked across the log, and of course, not recording. Well, I just made it back to the truck. Got a little interesting there at last light. Wasn't able to get it on camera, but I heard a snort wheeze back in the one bedding area, and I pulled my binoculars up real quick, only got a quick glimpse of the buck. It was, good frame, decent tine length, at least on the G2s as it was walking away. Never really did get a good look at it. So overall, ended up seeing 5 bucks and a bear, so a pretty good set really. So I'm happy with that, but now I'm ready to get home and relax for a little bit before do it again tomorrow. Well, it's November 3rd, back at the place I've been hunting the most here. I just feel like that's going to give me the best opportunity at something, the caliber I'm looking for. The wind's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more of a southwest wind, so I am going to move trees about 40-45 yards from where I have been sitting, just to hopefully get downwind of that main corridor that most of the deer have been walking through. So obviously it's going to change some shot opportunities coming through that pinch point, that funnel, but hopefully it's for the better. And I've got a tree in mind, but we'll see once we get there, and then just kind of see how the morning goes. Could have had him if I wanted him. That's exactly what I want them to do. I got a good enough look at him when he was coming down the hill that I pretty much knew I didn't want to shoot him. But I went through the process, drew back anyway, just in case if he stopped right here close and I changed my mind, at least I'd be ready. So, but yeah, that was really, really cool. Good encounter. It was nice to know that I got, all the cameras on and on him and everything, and drew back and could have made the kill shot right there. But yeah, still just pumped up to have an encounter like that. That's pretty cool. I had to bail there around 1:30. The wind just got too bad. I was not in a very big tree, so it was getting blown around quite a bit. So I hopped down, came back to the truck for a little bit, made a couple phone calls, and now I'm trying to see if this wind dies down, I might head back out for the last couple hours, but it's still blowing right now. But I would think by the time I'd get in there around 3:30, 4 o'clock, it should be calming down. So we might give that a try and see what happens last couple hours of daylight. Well, I'm back set up. It's almost 4 o'clock, so got about an hour and a half to finish this day off. The wind is still pretty gusty and swirly at times, but I feel a little bit better anyway. I feel rejuvenated, ready to hit these last couple hours. I'm not too optimistic with the way this wind is acting, but it's the rut, so anything can happen. You just got to be in a tree. So back in a tree and back at it. Ended up having another pretty eventful night. Had a 1.5-year-old buck feeding behind me for a while. He was pretty unique, had almost like a non-typical rack, so that'd be a cool buck to see in a few years. And then a couple does walked by like 80-90 yards out, and then right there at last light, just as I let go of my bow rope, I was all packed up, letting things down. There's got to be some monster in that thicket, because a couple of nights ago I heard that snort wheeze and thought I got a glimpse of a decent buck, and then tonight it was deep grunts, almost like a buck roar. So he did that like 6, 7, 8 times, and took whatever he was chasing away from me, so I never did get to see or hear. So I got out clean, but man, I'd like to get some eyes on him. I don't know exactly where he's going into there from or where he's traveling, but that thicket is just too thick with hemlock and white pine. I can't get in there to hunt it. So I've been sticking to the edges and the funnel leading to it.
I know there's some big ones around. There's gotta be. Just would be nice to get some eyes on them. It's November 4th. Couldn't really ask for a more perfect morning. It's calm with just a little bit of a slight breeze to mask your movements. It's only about 38, 39 degrees. A little bit of frost up on the ridge top, but once you kind of drop off, it didn't get frosty. But yeah, it's a beautiful morning. Just hoping for some activity to pick up here. Haven't seen anything yet. It's almost 8 o'clock. But I'm hopeful that we'll see something here. 0 deer. 2 o'clock. 0 deer. Just made a little move. I'm trying to think about what to do. I haven't seen anything all day. And figure, why not move up? It's about 80 yards to the north of where I had been. And last night I saw those 2 does come out over here, and then there was that buck grunting back in the cover. So there's a chance he came out following him, and I just didn't see it because it was getting a little too dark by that point. But got to do something. It's better than going back to the truck. Well, that made for a long day. Ended up kind of crazy ending. I was set up and really not thinking anything was going to come out till right at last light like it had been. But a little after 4 o'clock, I look over to the right and there's a buck probably 50 yards away. And all I could see was the top of his antlers. But he was just behind a couple branches, and he's kind of stayed right on the edge of that cover. And then I watched him for a little ways, and he kind of was just feeding along. I was hoping he'd come out on that bench that I was on, but at one point he just bedded down, and he bedded facing down into that bench that I was overlooking. And I felt like we had a couple trees and I could see him through the crotch of a tree, but I thought he could see me, so I literally stood there still for the last hour and 20-30 minutes. And with about 15 minutes left of shooting light, he was still bedded there, and I had to try something. So I let out some grunts, just some soft, tried to direct him away from me, but with his vantage point and with how open that bench was, and I wasn't tucked right in next to the cover like I originally had wanted to. I think tomorrow we're gonna switch things up and try New York State. So we'll wake up and come up with a game plan for that. It's November 8th this morning, back out here on public land, Pennsylvania. I'm back here at this spot. It's that good funnel that I've hunted probably 4 times now. It's the spot I've seen most consistent movement, and I've got the right wind for it, so we're going to give that probably one last try and hope that something decent will walk through it. Optimism gets lower and lower as the season progresses, but you just got to keep out there and keep trying to get in that tree.
just hit one. That happened fast. I was eating a snack, and all of a sudden that buck's coming right down this drain, right down the trail. I had enough time to get the big camera on him. I didn't have time to get this GoPro on. I'm not sure how the shot went. But I think he's about 50 yards behind me. I haven't heard him crash yet. So I'm just gonna kind of chill here for a minute and keep watching. I don't know what to think. I think the shot was a little low. It's a real steep angle. He was only at like 12 or 13 yards. I saw him go back into those little hemlocks. And I didn't see him come out. That doesn't mean he didn't go somewhere. I'm gonna have to just wait here for a while and watch. I just watched that footage back again, and I'm not sure, but he might be that 8-point that I passed a couple times. Before, he didn't look that big walking in, but he looked okay walking away. This time he looked okay walking in. And to be honest, at this point in my season, I would be thrilled with that 8-point. This might be the last decent day to hunt without like rain or snow. So if I was able to put my tag on him, I'd be happy with that. I had gone into this season hoping to kind of grind it out a little bit. The last couple years, it had been a really quick season and being tagged out relatively early, and I didn't get to really hunt much of the rut. And up to this point, I was regretting saying that because it can be tough. It's definitely mentally draining. These are the types of seasons that remind you that, you know, you don't get to write the script. You just take what's given to you. So if you happen to tag out early, just embrace that and be happy with it. And then if you have to grind a little bit and have a longer season, that's fine too. But yeah, don't think that you need anything other than what you're getting. It's been about almost an hour, and I'm thinking I might be able to sneak down, hike out of here, and take a break at the truck for a little bit before I come back in. We're gonna just ease out of here and go back to the truck, maybe drive and get some cell phone service because I don't have any here, and then be back in here eventually to take up the blood trail. We've got time to give him, so that's what we're gonna do. I'd rather he be a little bit dead than a little bit alive when we come back in to find him. Walking back in, it's about 2:30 now, so by the time I get back there, it'll be 5 hours from the shot. So I'm hoping that's enough time. Like I said before, we're gonna ease in there I've got my binoculars, my rangefinder, release on, everything. I'm gonna be ready for a follow-up shot if I need one. I think he's right there. I think he went down right. I think he went down right where I last saw him. I'm gonna still ease up to him though. He died right away. He died right away. Oh man. Oh man. Look at that. Not too bad. Man. I was so nervous. The shot really didn't look that good. And I was second guessing it. I mean, my gut was telling me right after the moment that it would be just fine and that he'd be close. And but I went back and watched it back again, and it still just, it looked like it hit low and back a little bit, but then there was bubbles in the blood. So I'm just so thankful that this was easy, because I was already coming up with plan B's and C's and thinking about grid searching tomorrow in the rain. Well, I'm pretty sure this is that 8-point that I actually had. This is the third encounter with him, and he wasn't exactly what I was looking for earlier in the season, but at this point it's November 8th and I've only got a couple days left of vacation to archery hunt. I'm planning on taking Chase out during rifle season for his buck, so I'm not even really hunting for a buck early in rifle season, so I knew this was going to be one of my last best chances today. And when this guy came in, I did not recognize him right away. Happened so fast. I took the same exact trail as the second time I saw him. So that first time I laid eyes on him, he was making that scrape in the corner. And then he kind of went back and came up from behind me and ended up walking almost right underneath me. And I passed on the shot on that trail over there by the deer exclosure fence. And I was using that to kind of hopefully funnel movement. And it was working on this guy for sure, because he did that the first time. The second time he came right down through the trail. I was lined up on him perfectly, had both cameras going, had bow drawn back, pins on the vitals, and I just let him walk. Again, at that time, it just wasn't what I was looking for. And I'll be honest with you, when I shot him today, I did not think he was this buck. He looks a lot bigger and better from behind when you see him walking away. And so when I was watching him after I hit him, I was like, man, that's a nice big buck. But then I looked back at the footage and realized it was the same 8-point. So yeah, I still honestly could not be more thankful for him. This was a really tough season, and I'm hunting a new tract of public land I've never hunted before. I've always wanted to. I've scouted it, but I've never really spent any time hunting in here, and I'm very,
very thrilled to be able to kill a mountain buck who I'm guessing he's probably 3.5 years old. So to kill a 3.5-year-old public land mountain buck with a bow, I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. So this is gonna put a wrap on my 2025 archery season. I was able to grind it out and fill both my archery tags in New York State and Pennsylvania. So with this, I'm just very, very happy, very thankful, and now I'm gonna have to start thinking about how I'm gonna get them out of here. So fortunately, I have a road and a path to take it most of the way, and I've got a deer cart in the truck. So I'll have to get him taken care of and tagged up, go back, get the deer cart. I gotta take my stand down yet, and then walk out of here for the last time with this guy. So yeah, just very, very thrilled.